Hi Deborah, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks for asking. I know that last time we reviewed a technique during the last session, and we tried it out a little bit. Do you remember how that went?
Yeah, you had told me to think of something positive, and so I was thinking of like stuff like getting a new job finally or something like that, and that was something positive that I could think about instead of negative stuff.
And that same exercise, thinking of something a little more negative, and then exploring your feelings that way.
Yeah.
Right. So that's called the push button technique. So last time we talked about how that works in terms of thinking of an image that is connected to a positive feeling, but I want to actually apply it this session.
Okay.
And we'll try it out on your symptoms and see what happens.
Okay.
So I know from seeing you before, you mentioned that you have been a little depressed, mildly depressed lately. Is that still going on?
Yeah, I still, I'm up late and crying and, just feel so sad and out of it all the time.
It's painful.
Mm.
Can you tell me a little bit about the circumstances surrounding your mood, the depression?
What I think is causing it?
Absolutely.
Well, I did lose my job. That's been a little while ago. It's been like 4 months ago.
4 months.
I did find another job. I mean, it's not nearly, making, the money that I was making before, but I guess that's, got something to do with my sadness all the time.
Well, I can see how that would be a big factor. So 4 months ago, loss of a job. You have another job, but by the way you describe it, doesn't sound like it's quite the same thing.
No, I don't like what I'm doing. It doesn't pay very well, and of course then that means financial pressure because I can't pay the bills the way I once was able to with the other job. So things are rough.
So in terms of your career, circumstances have changed enough for the better, you feel, and this has been bringing you down.
Yeah, it's hard.
So how often in the day would you say you feel depressed?
Well, I have a hard time when I get up in the morning. And actually it's kind of all through the day because even when I go to work, like when I have a moment at my desk, it all comes back to me and I just feel sad again. And then even when I go home, so it's like almost, maybe 4 or 5 times a day I find myself, really feeling sad.
Kind of sinking into a little depression in those moments.
Yeah.
So it's a few different times, a few specific times in the day it happens. And then generally you kind of feel like it happens all waking hours, or?
Yeah, I mean, because, when I'm at work, I'm busy, a lot of the time. It seems like when I have, like, downtime, free time.
That's when it's worse.
That's when it's the worst.
Okay. So there's this general feeling of being a little bit down all the time.
Yeah.
But these specific periods where you
when
really...
I'm, like, home by myself or something like that, it gets really bad.
You really feel it then?
Yeah.
All right, let's try out a few push-button techniques. Right, so what we have to come up with is an image that you think will lead to a more positive, less depressed feeling, a happy feeling, or a satisfied feeling.
Okay.
What's something in the past or something that you look forward to in the future? Any type of image that comes to mind when you think of satisfied, content, happy?
Well, I've been really thinking about going back to school.
Tell me about that.
Considering, the job situation, I think that might be the best thing for me to do. So, like, I would really love to get my master's. that would really make me happy.
All right, so when you bring that image into your mind of going for a master's degree, completing a master's degree, I want to try that now, like right here. Like think
about that, like
yeah.
what that would feel like.
Bring that image in,
Yeah.
kind of focus on the image, and think about all the surrounding features of it, being at graduation or successfully completing an exam, or all the different, or a few of the different elements, right?
Yeah.
Having a new skill that you can take forward into the job market. Latch on to those, and bring those to the forefront of your mind, and then tell me what you feel right now.
Feel like I finally achieved something.
Okay.
I feel like, my family's going to be proud of me.
All right.
And I just feel like, I would finally be doing something with my life that I always wanted to do.
More hopeful feeling than,
yeah, absolutely.
Than the sadness.
Yeah.
All right, so that picturing, that bringing that image of graduating or going for a master's degree, bringing that to the forefront of your mind, that seems to be helpful. That seems to lead to or link to a better mood than what you've been experiencing.
Definitely better.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's make that, so to speak, one of the buttons that you would push, right, as part of the technique. I like to at least come up with a couple, so that's one good one.
Okay.
Do you have another one that you think might be useful?
You said from the past or the future?
It could be from the past, present, or future. Just a thought that you can bring in that you think would lead to a feeling of satisfaction or happiness.
Well, my daughter just won a competition.
All right, tell me about that.
I was really proud about that. She was a finalist in the Playwright Festival, and she won, So that was I'm really proud of her for that.
That's a great accomplishment. Can you bring that thought right to the forefront now, like right here?
Yeah, that definitely makes me happy.
That makes you happy. So
Yeah.
you know what that links to, what that connects to. Yeah, and maybe causes, right, for that moment, or contributes to that. So you have that thought of her winning or success, and I can even see it in your face, right? You're a little more upbeat.
Yeah, because I'm really proud of her. Really proud of her.
Yeah. So that's a pretty good one, right? That's a button you want to keep, right? So maybe at those slow times in work, when perhaps you were inadvertently pressing other buttons, you could bring up the one that you just brought up there.
You mean start thinking about her winning that award for her playwriting? Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make me happy.
That'd be a good one. And of course the one with education would be a good one. Right?
Yeah.
So one thing I'd like you to do, if possible, between now and the next session would be to think up a couple more buttons, a couple more images that you find contribute to, cause feelings that are not depressed, feelings that are happier, more content feelings. So in thinking about this, did you find this useful in evaluating this?
Yeah, because I realized myself that when I started thinking about my daughter and her accomplishment, and when I started thinking about me, like finally achieving something that I've always wanted, it changes my mood, I think.
For the better.
Yeah, I feel happier.
Is there anything that you can determine from this that tells us more about the depression? Like what might be leading to those thoughts or feelings of depression?
Well, it seems like, when I'm thinking about the job loss, and when I'm thinking about, how things have not gone right for me, I'm noticeably sad. And when I'm thinking about things like my daughter, what she's accomplishing, and what I'm going to accomplish in the future or what I want to accomplish in the future. You know, I'm not thinking about those negative things anymore. You know, and I feel better, I think.
It's great insight. So what you're really saying is this technique has two sides. One that you can use in a useful manner, and one that maybe inadvertently gets used for a not so useful manner. Right? The one that leads to the sadness.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does. I never really thought of it that way before. That I could like kind of change what I'm thinking myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes I guess I just get caught up and I just one negative thing after another I'm thinking about. But like if I could sort of interrupt it, I think maybe it'll make me feel better.
And maybe that's what you can do with this push button technique. So this week, so I'll see you again in a week.
Okay.
So this week at work, and I particularly want to focus on these moments, but you can use the push button technique at every time you feel it might be helpful.
Okay.
But those moments at work you specifically mentioned, when you just kind of, maybe you have a moment and you start thinking, and that thinking is leading to the feelings of depression. Go ahead and use the positive push buttons, right? The ones that are leading to the better feelings. Try that out, and then we'll talk about the results. And if you can, like I mentioned before, build a couple more in there.
Okay.
And we can talk about those as well.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. I appreciate you coming in, Deborah. I'll see you in a week.
Thanks a lot for your help.